bum 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 bum. I've got that music in my head. That old da, 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 da. I don't even know what it is. I can't think. Was it in Fantasia or something like that? I'm not sure. Either way, it is in my head and I can't get rid of it. Guys, it's been so long, hasn't it? Oh yeah. Hello everyone. I can see you all in the chat there saying hello and all the rest of it. Oh yeah. I've got Natalie, Paul, Carl, Little Glob. Have I gone all posh on you? I don't know. Did I go posh? Vicky said that I'm far too happy. I'm happy to be back. I've been off for ages. I went and I'm not apologising for being off because it was my little girl's birthday, so we went. It was really cool actually. I talked about this on Thursday, but we were in a caravan, and it reminded me of being in North Wales as a caravan as a kid myself, and we were only down the road from where I used to go, and it was great. First time on the beach, first time seeing a castle, first time on a cable car. We went in a real mine. And it was amazing. But there was some birthday cake left on the side for the whole week we were gone. And when we got in, I monstered a couple of slices of it. And I think whatever was living inside the birthday cake has taken up root in my belly. I've been crap for days. Sorry, I'm just chatting a little bit before we get started, just to let the room fill up, let people come in and all the rest of it. I'll probably cut this out of the final thing and all that. But yeah. So I had a good 3 days being on my ass. Men out there will know what I'm talking about. Hey, you go to Great Orme. Yes, that's where I went. That little mine down there, the copper mine. We tried to sell it as, again, it reminded me of me being a kid and my parents trying to sell things to me, and we tried to sell it to her as real life Minecraft. Real Minecraft! She wasn't buying it, but as a reflection to her state of mind, she declared herself adventure leader. And we could only refer to her as adventure leader. And she was going this way. And it was a mine. It's all locked off. You could only go one way. But she kept going, this way, adventurers. And if we called her by her real name, she'd get very annoyed and call, no, I'm adventure leader. And until she sat on a thorn outside up the hill. She sat on a thorn and said, I'm not a leader anymore. But it soon wore off. Thank you so much, Natalie, for sharing. Yes, please do. As most of you will be aware, news and politics has been completely crushed from YouTube, which is insane because they almost monopolised the market in terms of, news and commentary getting mass coverage, mass shares, mass money, loads of adverts. YouTube just want to be Netflix. They want to host Tonight with whoever. They want Will Smith and all that, don't they? They've only started admitting that PewDiePie is on YouTube now that he's doing Minecraft videos again, which I've been unironically watching, by the way, with my daughter. I think I'm about 2 episodes behind, but yeah, I've been sat there unironically watching Minecraft Let's Plays of PewDiePie, unironically playing it as well. It's been mental. But yeah. Oh, guys, it's filled up anyway now. I think we can get on with the show, can't we? We can get on with the show. Hello, sorry if I've missed you. I'm probably I've not been on air for ages, so there's a good chance I might miss what you've got to say. So if you want to make sure it's heard, send me a super chat, and then I will definitely, there's a separate little window there, which I accidentally showed on Thursday's show, but it doesn't matter because anyone can go and see. It's just YouTube back end. But yeah, send a super chat. Or if this provides value to you, if you get value from doing this, from sitting here listening to this nonsense, then send us a super chat as well. Throw me a couple of dollars, make me feel like the whore that I am. Guys, I'm going to be talking today about Owen Jones. I've got this Owen Jones thing. It's not current, although it's kind of current in the sense that it's something that's always going on. I want to talk about those police tweets because they were amazing. There's a Greta Thunberg interview with The Guardian that I've just moved to last because we might not get to it. I can't stand the way they're using this little girl. And there's this poll that a third of Democrats believe it's racist to criticize politicians of colour, which is just hilarious, isn't it? It's racist to criticize. So the overall meta narrative of that is that racism itself is flooding more left-wing minded people at the moment. It's serious. Anyway, if you combine the racism that's flooding the left wing with the next story, then you might be a little bit worried, like I am. So, here we go. Let's put it on the scene. Do you know what? Before we get started, actually, because I'll clip it here. I helped for anyone that watches Richie Allen, and if you don't, please do check out his live streams. He goes live 9:30 a.m. every morning. Richie Allen. I think if you search Richie Allen show on YouTube, he just comes right up. He comes right up. But I've been on the phone with him, helping him sort out the broadcaster thing. And have you seen the way he drags? He drags it so he moves that way. I've been trying to get him, like, mate, you could just do this, and it'll do that. And I've been trying to get him to sort it out, but I'm gonna have to go around there to stand there and do it. But I don't want to see him in person. I don't want to see Rich Allen in person just yet, because I want to do it when we do a live event, and I want to talk to him about socialism, real socialism, because that's what he's always hammering on about. Because I've got an issue. I've got a huge issue with socialism, and it's because it's the likes of this fella here, Owen Jones. Now, this isn't going to be a clip where we're just sort of going, oh, is it past your bedtime and all that shit, because the thing that frustrates me about Owen Jones isn't that he's some comic book idiot, sort of, fool at large or whatever. He's not. He's intelligent, and that's what worries me about him. That's the problem. That's the issue that I have with him, is that he's a smart bloke who lies. And he lies intentionally, and when I say lie, I mean lie in the news and political sense. So he'll either specifically omit certain things, or he'll do it by the framing or the context. With his articles, he never lies. He just states fact after fact after fact, from a certain point of view. But it's arranging things to give you a certain impression that isn't accurate in any way whatsoever. Because he's an activist, and that's fair enough. You can be an activist and all that, but he's kind of sold out his own thing. I imagine a few years ago it would have been a bit easier just to have a sort of drink and a chat with him, but he's like that Femi guy, he's like just point, and if you challenge him on it, he's like, well, don't you want gay people to have equal rights? And it's like, yeah, I do, but that's not the fucking point, is it? Now, one of the biggest issues that I've ever had with Owen Jones is this interview that he did. It was 2018. It was just about whoa. We're on the 1 year anniversary of it. There we go. It's taken me a full year to calm down. I've actually made this video twice, and I screamed so loud, and then the computer broke, so it's gone. But yeah, I had to do this video. I had to, because, well, it's got a little bit of the context will be explained in the video. Let's get started, shall we? Oh, you fucking bastard. Oh, there's monetization gone.
That's supposed to be a big scary word which is associated with the horrors of Stalin and the Gulag, but communism is back, baby, and it's back because Ash Sarkar,
There we go. I'm not going to do this too much. I'm not going to stop it too much, but there he goes. So communism is associated with Stalin and the Gulag, which it is, obviously. It's the inevitable destination of any of those sort of styles of government and arranging society. Sorry for the drinks person that doesn't like me drinking, but it is what it is. Ash Sarkar. Here we go. Here we fucking go.
Prominent activist and journalist, disclaimer, friend of mine as well, went on national television with Piers Morgan, one of the most odious people who's ever existed, and when accused of seeing Barack Obama as her hero, replied,
he's not my hero, I'm a communist, you idiot.
There we go! I'm a communist, idiot. How's this a thing? How's this a thing, man? Like, how can we... some people call her a journalist. They call themselves journalists. They're not the activists. They have things like hashtag capitalism, communism. It's right there with fascism, with National Socialism, with the Nazi Party. It is right up there with that. How are we in a position where we have a communist on TV like this, just going, I'm a communist, idiot, and it just becomes a cute thing. It becomes, they were selling T-shirts off it. She was all over the place. She was getting interviewed everywhere. And now Owen Jones, the scumbag that he is doing this fluffy 8-minute video about her. And it's insane to me. But here's the thing, right? Don't misunderstand what I'm advocating for. I want her on TV. I want her there. But I want Nazis there as well. I want fascists there. I want white nationalists. I want black nationalists as well. I'd love black nationalists. If we could get a little bit of honesty around certain parts of the Black Lives Matter group, they are just black nationalists. They're just as bad as Nazis. They are supremacists. I want them on TV. And I'd like it if they were honest as well. You know, I mean, this spoiled little fuck here is getting thrown loads of TV money at herself. To then decide she wants to destroy. It's all right for you. You be first against the fucking wall, love. Always. But yeah, I want these people on TV. I'm not advocating for Owen Jones not having a platform or Ash not having a platform. But I'd like there to be a little bit of equality. If you're going to do the TV thing of having balance, if you're going to have her on, then get a fascist on. Get a full-blown Italian-style fascist on. And then there's your balance, isn't it? But they don't. They get a conservative. They'll often get like quite a tepid conservative, you know, like a sort of just right of centre, and to create this weird like. And it's about shifting the Overton window, isn't it? And it's kind of happened now. It's kind of fucked. It's already done and gone. And it worries me. It really fucking worries me. Hello, Magninona. You're all right there. You've just joined us. We're moaning about Ash Sarkar and communists. Anyway, 26 seconds. Let's see if I can get through a little bit more of this.
That went viral. We've got teen magazines talking about it. T-shirts are being made. It's being discussed on national television. So I want to talk to Ash. What actually is communism? Can we disassociate it from the horrors of the 20th century?
There we go, guys. Second mention of it. It was the most destructive political system of the 20th century. Phenomenally so, and only because it's got the hold-ups of how humans have always lived. That's that weird, you know, turf, and I mean that in the you know, turf, not turf, like hates trans people. It was like clinging on to that, wasn't it? That collectivized, like, oh, you get what you give them bullshit. And so yeah, second mention of it here. Let's see if they actually do address it at any point, shall we? Because that's the most important thing here. He's framed it twice. He's mentioned it twice.
And what about the horrors of capitalism as well? So if you're going to put communism in one pithy little sentence.
The horrors of capitalism! The fuck are you talking about, mate? The whole point of fucking capitalism is personal freedom. I'm free to do whatever the fuck I want with my life. I can go and work wherever I want. I'm not getting handed the keys to a fucking factory, am I? Well, maybe I've got to go and work for it. The world is a bad place. Life is hard. The horrors of fucking capitalism. You're talking about individual people, individual companies that do bad things under capital. Of course they do. Of course, capitalism will never, ever, ever just create some utopian thing where everyone's good and wonderful and everyone's fat. That's never, ever, ever going to happen. The horrors of capitalism. That's not the...
Which you could not quite fit on a T-shirt, or maybe you could if it was quite small letters. What would it be?
I think it would be two things. So imagine like a semicolon in the middle,
Okay.
and that's my way of
Doing
getting
a lot
around
of
the
work, the
nonsense.
semicolon, I can tell.
I have to see literature graduate, man. I love it.
He's such a flirty little bitch, isn't he? He's such a bitch. I hate his interviewing technique. I mean, I get it. Like when I'm on the radio, I interview people. There's a certain amount of flirting, and you put people at ease. But dude, you're on camera right now. This is the shit you do leading up to it. Look at this little doe-eyed bullshit. Answer the questions of the horrors of the 20th century, please. Look at the fucking state of him. No, anyway, go on. Let's
Semicolon. Communism is a belief in the power of people to organise their lives as individuals, their social lives, their political and their economic lives, without being managed by a state. And private property is a barrier to the distribution of those resources that we need to not just survive but thrive, and not a facilitator of it.
That was a very long sentence.
Wait, well, let's hear that again. Let's hear that again.
Individuals, their social lives, their political and their economic lives, without being managed by a state.
Right. Okay, so here's the thing. This is how they fucking sell it to you every time. No state. So we destroy the whole thing, but then they go, well, yeah, but we need community managers. We need leaders. For everyone to just float around like this. This is what they do. This is the pitch. There'll be no say. You'll be free. Oh, but how are we going to... What about the buses? Someone needs to physically organise the buses. They can't just come whenever they want. Oh, well, we'll have community leaders, won't we? And this is how it descends. Because you've replaced various forms of democracy with these fuckers in charge, these dishonest cunts, these people who, whenever they get any real power, corrupt instantly. And the problem with communism is you've destroyed the way to get rid of them. They just become community leaders, tyrants. If you've ever moved into a council house, you'll know just how inefficient and ridiculous and power hungry these absolute dicks are. See you later, little glob. Yeah. Oh God, I can't even do it. Let's just carry on with this fucking explanation. But this is the rub. And this is what really annoys me, right? Because he knows all this shit. This is why I can't fucking stand Owen Jones. Because he knows it. He fucking knows it. That's what annoys me. If he was some 16-year-old, or if he was still at uni or whatever, I don't blame these protesters when they're out, the kids and that. And they're like, well, we're going to say, of course, man. Of course you're going to do that at that age. But this guy knows, man. He's in the game.
And private property is a barrier to the distribution of those resources that we need to not just survive, but thrive and not facilitate.
Private property! Here's the fucking thing, right? God, I'm not even going to get through this video, am I, right? So here's the thing that they said. The horrors of the 20th century. Stalinism. She's just said there, private property is a barrier. So what happens with the farm that your family has spent generations building up? You're just getting by because there's been so much government intervention that you're already relying on handouts. You're already relying on the bloody EU just to survive because there's all the price fixing and all the other nonsense that people like her have brought about. And now they come round and just say, well, no, this is now community property. This is for the good of the people. You no longer own this farm. What happens when they say no, Ash? What happens when they say no? Oh, you can go on about, right, okay, well, we'll take the rail back into public ownership. It's never been privatised, ever in this country. It gets constant government handouts. It's never been privatised. If I want to get a train, there's a company that does it, and they've got permission, and it's all dirty and corrupt and mixed up. But say we do, and they go, well, there's non-violent ways to do it. You could just annul the contract. All right, that's a bit scummy. You'll have to pay them out, whatever. Or wait 20 years for Virgin's contract to run out, and then we'll take it that way. All right, fine. There's the non-violent argument. But what about the farmer? What about the factory owner? What about the guy that just chops fucking lumber for a living? When these people come and say, you know what we've all done? We've all decided that you don't own that anymore. And here's the thing, man. Look at the statistics. Look it. Check it out on this. The more private property people have, the better things are. The more you leave it to the individual, the more you let them own things, less freedom always leads to shite. Look at fucking Venezuela. Look at North Korea. Look at China. China is crumbling. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's strong parts of the Chinese economy. It's quite an interesting test case, actually. But to actually watch videos of China, of people just... There's these guys that do motorbikes and they just ride round and everything's crumbling because nobody owns it. It's not my problem. If you think that private property it should go away, try living in a block like I do and then go to the communal bins. Who's just any communal bins in the country? That is the end of communism. That is the end of the argument there. Look at the fucking state of him. Because it's not my problem. I didn't cause that. Imagine communal bins, but it's your entire country. It's happened before, and if she gets away, it'll happen again. Only she's putting the word luxury in front of it. Private fucking property. This fucking... What happens when I say no, motherfucker? What happens when I say no, I want to keep my shit? Well, they'll delineate between, well, there's personal property and private property. You can still have your personal property. Oh, thank you. Fuck you.
Of it.
That was a very long sentence.
Yeah.
It makes sense, it works.
But it's got a semicolon in it, so it's fine.
About 3 semicolons in that, Ash, and it's dishonest to suggest otherwise.
So
So communism is now all the rage. One of many sentences over the last 3 years I never thought I'd say.
Is it?
You've been interviewed in Teen Vogue about it. Is this like you think?
Teen Vogue. Teen Vogue is such a clusterfuck. So as most of you know, the magazine print media is dying. Some people, like the Daily Mail, have just kind of carried on with what they were doing already, but gone a little bit harder on it. That clickbait, panicked, basically lying as well. They're really good at lying, the Daily Mail. Really good at it. They pay out thousands, but it doesn't matter because the clicks. Teen Vogue has just gone full on like why Marxist is important in the modern era. Teen Vogue is weird, and this is how they're laundering stuff. So she's selling the t-shirts, and then she goes on Teen Vogue, which is written by, it has writers that are all her mates. They're all friends with each other. They're all in the same circle. They all write for each other. It's all freelance people that write in different... So him saying, oh, Teen Vogue has covered it. That's not like saying Vogue's covered it. Teen Vogue was dying. It's the only way it can remain even slightly relevant. It's called idea laundering. You put a bad idea out there and then get your other shit rag mates to... to put it about for you. Let's just check the chat really quickly. Communism is communal bins. That needs to be a bean. It is. Look at any communal bins, and that's what happens with communal. It's an interesting one. But yeah, just to be clear, guys, I'm making this video because I don't think that Owen Jones is just some comical idiot. He's not. He's phenomenally dangerous, and this is why.
Wow. I've helped to kind of bring it back. Or is it kind of now just gone a bit commodified?
I mean, it's just incredibly surreal. So I got up really early. I thought I was just going to talk about the Stop Trump protest, and then suddenly I'm having to yell that I'm literally a communist. And
You idiot.
I mean, yeah. And
She didn't have to yell that, by the way. She didn't have to. It's quite interesting.
Piers Morgan an idiot. I'm really, really glad that people have responded to it mostly positively, and I think it's because Piers Morgan is so odious that he's accidentally rehabilitated communism.
Do you know what? Piers Morgan is, he can be odious. He can. But he's a phenomenal broadcaster. He's exactly what's needed. He's I think personally I don't like it. Well, I don't know. I might meet him and get on with him amazingly well. He's difficult. He prods people, he gets on the nerves, and there's a whole thing of... There's a reason that he's still on, although he's on a break at the moment. The reason he's on TV and he gets contracts is because that's what's needed. That, you know, not this fluffy bullshit. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's a place for this fluffy bullshit. You know, sometimes you just want to hear people's perspective. But these two are activists. That's what annoys me about this. This isn't a current affairs show where they're going, what's going on? These people are in with each other. They're best mates. So to present it as like a fluffy fucking, let's get to know Ash piece like this is bullshit. This is calculated, extremely calculated activism. But no, Piers Morgan is a necessary evil. He's a good broadcaster. He's a good journalist as well. He presses people. There's a weird thing where, you know, he defends Trump a lot, which he might be like, oh, God, you know, but I don't want my media to be a complete wash of orange man bad. I quite like the fact that there's a guy in there, a prominent mainstream guy, who knows Trump personally, who says, well, actually, I spoke to Trump about this, and this is his point of view, because we often don't get his point of view. We get a sanitized, you know, like... Well, I'm not going into Trump right now. Fuck you. Why do you have to keep saying he's odious? I mean, he is, but so are you. You are up there with fascists.
Which I couldn't have done on purpose.
No, it's team effort.
It's team effort. Comrade
You flirty
Morgan.
sub, look at you.
Right, so that word, a lot of people watching, they're going to be thinking gulags, queuing a lot, Ukrainian famine, and big statues with big moustaches.
Here we go. Third mention of the reality of what actually happens. Look, let's check out. Look at the look on her face as he's saying all this.
Queuing a lot, Ukrainian famine, and big
Yes, I did read about those things, but it wasn't real communism. It wasn't real social. It won't happen this time because we've put the word luxury in front of it. Look at you, look at you. You're going into your program responses, aren't you? Are we even going to get that though? Third mention.
With big moustaches. Mm-hmm. Mao and Stalin were terrible, murdering dictatorships who presided over totalitarian dystopias.
My mum met Mao. Have I ever told you the story?
What?
So
I don't give a fuck if who your mum met. I don't give a fuck if your mum sucked Mao's cock and it tasted like oranges. I don't care. Third mention of the reality. Third mention of the horrors. Are we going to do it? Have you seen the change in her face as well? She's there like, it's true, it's all true. This is what's going to happen. But I'm going to be one of the leaders. You won't, love. You're the first against the wall every time with these things. You dissident people like you that helped. Your job, Ash, is to unravel the system, is to unravel the politics. That's your job. Do you really think the communists, the dictators that take power, are going to keep the likes of you around? Hey? With your media influence? No. You'll go the way of Tommy Robinson, love. Straight away. You fucking idiot. That's their blind spot because they think they'll be on top. They know the truth of it, but they think they'll be on top. They think they'll have power. They'll think they'll have the power that they've got now.
She didn't.
she did, right. Scouts on her.
He's debauched. I hope she was...
Flatulent was what she told me. So this is when she was a little kid. She actually lived in Beijing for a bit because her dad was a diplomat before her parents split up and she moved back to this country. So she lived in Beijing for a bit, and at some kind of function, she was told to get up and say hello to Mao, and he let rip with a ginormous fart.
What's wrong with just basic politeness?
I don't know.
That was way down. I mean, to be fair, he was guilty of slightly worse crimes than that.
Basic politeness? He killed 45 million people, you fucking soft twat. And you're going on about basic fucking politeness? Where's the hot... How are we going to do it, man? Don't just write, I'm a communist idiot, or I'm a communist you idiot, on a t-shirt, and then sit there going, private property. Once we're rid of the burden of private property, everything will be great. We can distribute the resources. All right, well, what happens? What happens when I disagree with what Owen Jones thinks in terms of where money should go, where resources should go? What if I think that my daughter's school should get a bit more? What if he thinks that his, wherever the fuck he spends his time, that should get it? Because it's not infinite. What happens then? How do we sort that out? Well... Suddenly we've found the need for community leaders, haven't we? Who will crack the rip.
I know. I mean, look, you interview loads of people. How many of them have a story about their mum meeting Mao?
A flatulent Mao as well.
Yeah, right. So you get what you're given.
What is true is the Maoist regime tried to get everyone to create their own pig iron in the back garden. Mm-hmm. Agriculture stopped. Huge numbers died in a terrible famine.
Yeah, they did. And you know that's how parts of capitalism came to China. Do you know about this? The farms were the worst. People died, and it wasn't working. So what they did was the communist government there, they allowed farmers as an experiment, kept it very, very small first. They allowed them to behave as if they owned the farms. To make the choices as if it was private. They gave them a little thing where they sort of tested out the concept of them just selling the produce and managing it themselves rather than it coming from above. And it was like the tiniest hint of private property, the tiniest hint of freedom. Because that's what capitalism is. You, on any level, it's not just money bags at the top, the guy that does really, it's anyone on any level of building yourself. They did it, and suddenly they went from people starving to death to having abundance. And they were like, oh, wait a minute, personal freedom. 100,000 people can make better decisions on a micro level than a team of 6 deciding or whatever it is. You know, that's fucking obvious to anyone thinking about it. That's how the food thing was sorted out in China, and that's how they ended up the way they are. And there's a lot of controls, and there's certain good things to it in terms of the way it works. Like the government will really help you out. And push you in terms of foreign. That's why we all own Chinese. That's why everything's from China. Because what started in the farms spread throughout the whole economy.
As not to make an apologism for Maoism or Stalinism, but if you actually apply methodology to capitalism, I'm thinking about the international slave trade. I'm thinking about World War One. I'm talking about fascism, and before anyone says that's socialism, these were regimes which are helped to power by big business in Italy and Germany to liquidate the left.
Big businesses that had to do what the government said, and then people had to invest in what the government wanted them to invest in. They used shame, they used violence. Oh, fuck you, man. Like, the same thing that's happening now that these people are trying to create. You know, if you want to go to Chick-fil-A, they're like, well, you hate gay people then, because Chick-fil-A donates to churches, to church groups. So they're like, well, you must hate the gays. And everyone's, and even gay people in there going, fuck that, the shaming. That's exactly how these fascists, and that's exactly how the Nazis worked as well. If you wanted to fund things that they approved of, then you were boosted up as a hero. Technically still a private business. It's how they do it in Venezuela. There'll always be that stat. It's like 85% of businesses are still private. It's not socialist at all. It's like, yeah, but if you don't do exactly what the government says, they come and just take your business off you. They set your prices, they set your wages, they tell you how you're going to do it. Technically, you own the fucking place, but you've got no freedom. Doesn't mean shit. And not only that, the business you own isn't worth anything, specifically because the government can come and take it anytime they want. They've completely destroyed the property market. They've completely destroyed everything. But then you get people like these going, oh, well, you know, it's not socialism because it's private business. No, it's not. Zero respect for property rights. The horrors of fucking capitalism. Yeah, as the world has always been a really terrible place. Always. Slavery existed a long time before capitalism. Capitalism was the thing that ignited the thing that's helped to begin the stopping of slavery. Because we still have slavery, by the way. I know there's this weird narrative for these people that it only seems to exist in America with black people. It still exists. It exists in this country. I know people who have been slaves, who were emancipated, and I mean that literally. Not in a sexy way, literally slaves. It still exists. The only thing that stops it is capitalism in any meaningful manner.
Where big businesses profited directly from the Holocaust. Tens of millions of people died under capitalism, but that is not a discussion we have, is it?
I mean, I think that the analysis of deaths under communism is an example of important history done badly. I'm not saying for 1 minute that we look at those aspects of communist history and we simply paper over them with...
Look at his face. He knows. He fucking knows. He knows they're dancing around it. They haven't answered the question yet.
Hashtag or a t-shirt or a meme. I think it requires really careful engagement. But we must apply a similar level of engagement and a similar amount of critique to the conditions under which we presently live.
What does it mean to be a communist?
Yeah, 100%. We should. Yeah, of course we should. We always should. The answer is usually more freedom, though, isn't it? Actual freedom. I really want to talk to Richie Allen about this because I think he has almost exactly the same attitude as me, but he labels it as socialism, which is fascinating. I can't wait to sit him down about this. It's going to be a really interesting talk. Let's have a quick look at the comments before I move on. Vicky has said, did they just confuse capitalism with neoliberalism or globalism? Yeah, I think they did. I think, true, right? The issue is that when you do, because you get this a lot, don't you? Socialism versus capitalism. Whereas capitalism is not actually a system of government. Capitalism it's a very small scale. It is you. You have capital. He has capital. You might want to get together. You might, and here's the truth, man. Here's the sad truth, right? Lots of people want to be the boss. They all want to be the owner. They get even a little bit of the way there and they realise this isn't the life for me. I fucking hate being a manager. I hate this job. I hate doing this shit. They like just clocking in, clocking out, going home, getting a fucking phenomenal wage. People in this country are rich. Even the poor people are insanely rich. Insanely rich. For doing fuck all. I don't do a lot. I mean, some days I work way harder than others, but overall, I don't. It's not like fucking coal mining for $1 a day, is it? Jesus Christ. But yeah, they do. They mix in capitalism with all, and the problem for me is it's statism of any kind. But communism is they sell it like this. Oh well, you'll be free once you're rid of private. You'll be free, but it's not. It has to move to the state. It has to move to an And if you want to talk about big businesses that are bad, imagine there only being one business, because that's what it becomes. It becomes almost like state capitalism. Well, not even capitalism is the wrong word for it. It's just a dictatorship, like they've said, and they've not actually addressed it yet. They said it's important history.
In 2018.
The example that I always use is housing. I think housing lends itself really well to communist structures of kind of, deprivatizing, making decisions, or decisions being led by people who actually use the service, live in the housing, rather than people who simply own it. And then the other is an orientation.
Rather than those who simply own it. Well, why can't they own it as well? I would say though that there's a point to this. There's a good point to this, and I wouldn't go as far as communism, but that's sort of like group ownerships, cooperative. They can work really well on housing. I know someone at the moment that's what they're doing. They're kind of getting they're building it, and they offered it to me, but I don't want someone else to own where I am. I think you are doomed to bad things. You're doomed to bad situations. It's fine as long as you all agree, but we're not always all going to agree on what we want to do and all the rest of it. So it's hard, and I didn't want to get involved. But yeah, if you want to do that, if you want to live like that on an individual level or on a community level, there's that great quote, wasn't there? With your family. With your immediate family, you're a communist. You are. Not everything's shared. There's no hierarchy. There's nothing there. And then with your friends, you're a socialist. You want you take anything out of my fridge, you go and have it, and it's the same. Who wants a drink? Mine's around. But then, as the higher up you move, you get closer to libertarian. It's quite an interesting thing, and that's why I don't like to label myself as anything at all, because I am a communist on a family level. But on a absolute governmental level, I'm probably libertarian. But then it varies as you come down. You can't sign up to one thing and be like, well, that's everything sorted. That's the problem with the EU at the moment. They've got that. Apart from the fact that it's been run by socialists for the entirety of its, since it became it in the 90s. It's only now that the socialists are not the majority for the first time ever. And that way of thinking at such a phenomenal, looking at hundreds of millions of people at once. It's obviously made a lot of people very unhappy, hasn't it? It's why we're leaving.
Looking towards the future, because I think that Britain is in the midst of another industrial change.
Just to be clear, though, I do think she doesn't have a bad point there in terms of the housing, but it has to be consensual. The people I know that are doing it are all consenting. I didn't consent. I don't want anything to do with it, and I'm happy with that.
From which there is no going back. As you get more automation, you've got this contradiction embedded in capitalism, which is, on the one hand, you replace workers with fixed capital, you become more precarious because you can't have, your labour's worth less compared to this machine that can do it easier for 24 hours and isn't going to do stuff like go on strike. But also, it shows you a glimpse of what a world without work and scarcity can look like. So, you've got machines doing all the work and means that you...
World without work and scarcity. Love, we're already there. We're already there. You can do a fuck all in this country and have an obesity problem. We're already there, love. You just want it to be like fucking Star Trek, don't you? Jesus Christ.
You can focus on the things that you feel really passionately about, whether that's exploring different ways of living communally, or pursuing like a craft or an art, or dedicating time to your loved ones.
All right, so when they did the UBI test, there was 2,000 people, all unemployed. So it wasn't a real test because they were already jobless. And it's always this argument, isn't it? Give people free money and they can then pursue their, you know, their loves, their crafts and all that. And it's great, love, isn't it? The world that you live, your perspective, that's what you... Because you do activism / journalism. You basically just write a load of shitty articles and go on TV promoting luxury communism. So it'd be fucking great for you, wouldn't it? Just to be handed... Well, not even money for your thing, for just everything to be there and you just carry on doing this. But here's the thing, man. Lots of people don't want to do that. You know, like lots of fathers, for example, like going out and working and providing for the family. They like it. It gives them a phenomenal sense of satisfaction to know that they are giving the partner who's staying at home and putting her entire life into raising the kids properly and making sure that they're good people, giving them the best start in life. You know, the both of them are working hard. And there's a good feeling there. You sleep happy, it's comfortable, it's nice. And it's nice to know that if you work harder, you'll get more rewards. Because that's the other thing that these people don't talk about. They don't talk about the fact that, you know, everything's equal, everything's all right. So the fucker that's just sat there, that's taken his shoes off, and he's just in the office just picking at his toenails, gets the same as you. You've been in there since 6 in the fucking morning. he's getting the same as you. Fuck that shit. What about the guy that's like literally up at 5 every single day? I don't want to earn the same as him. No, fuck that, man. I mean, don't get me wrong. Here's the thing, man. There is a certain, you know, we need to address stay-at-home parents and how do we put value onto that. But we already kind of had that though, didn't we? But you relabeled it the patriarchy. And relabeled it about power and everything. You know, it used to be the case that a single person would... The expectation was that you would get enough wage to support your family. That doesn't exist anymore. Both parents have to work. The kids don't... I mean, that's the thing with these people. You know, they've worked really hard to destroy one thing. And now they're going, well, we need to fix it, don't we? What are we going to do? Well, you need communism, don't you?
And that is this like little promise of utopia within this thing that's making you more precarious and making you poorer. And as that tendency towards automation gets sharper, in the UK I think it's going to be 1 in 3 jobs in the north, 1 in 5 across the country as a whole, and 40% in Hayes and Harlington. You either, I think, have a steady creep towards fascism in terms of...
Oh, for God's sake, this thing about automation. Yeah, it's a thing. It is a thing. They ain't going to fix it, though. Not even close. It's the same thing, man. Farming equipment came along. 98% of us were farmers. Like, what the hell are we going to do now that just 2% of people can do what 98% of us used to do? What we're going to do? We'll do other things, won't we? We'll do other things. Automation's an issue, but it always has been. Computers, technology have always been taking our jobs. Always. And is it going to be hard on some certain individuals? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. But you don't just scrap the whole system. You allow the system to create more work. I mean, I'm doing this. I'm sitting here doing this right now. Look at this shit, man. This didn't exist a few years ago. I couldn't just do this in my own living room. It's just, these things evolve and come. There's always something. There's always something. But you've just got to allow the markets to get there. The one person can't decide
increasingly authoritarian and violent management of that bit of the population which is excluded from the means of survival. And I don't think we'll have enough retraining or sort of new tech utopia jobs to cope with that. Or you find new ways to redistribute that abundance in a way which means that people have to work less and have more.
So finally, right?
Oh God, I can't even with this thing of like, yeah, it's just dangling these promises, isn't it? You can already work less, and we're getting richer and richer. All these fucking scumbags playing on fears. I can't.
Corbyn's Labour Party is actually offering, historically speaking, pretty mild social democracy. Many of its policies are already in place in lots of Western Europe.
Corbyn advocates for removal of private property. That's as extreme as you get. You don't get that. How's that mild? What planet are these two living on if advocating for removal? The Grenfell, first thing he did was like, well, we need to get the flats off people. Don't get me wrong. I don't think that all these properties should have been sold to rich foreign people. I don't think that, like, you know, the 1% across the planet should have holiday homes all over the fucking London. I do think there's an argument to foreign ownership of property like that. I do. I think ultimately I'd prefer it if it was all just free and it was there. But right now, the reality that we're in right now with property, but the answer isn't to take that off them. No. Jesus Christ, no. The answer is to build more houses.
And in the 1970s, well, we had a higher tax rate and more extensive nationalisation than Corbyn's Labour Party is proposing.
Yeah, we did, and the 70s was shit. The 70s was so bad that we ended up with Thatcher for 13 years.
So what hope is there really for the sort of communist society that you aspire to? Because a lot of people just go, well, we're getting all excited about this, but actually this shows the paucity of your ambition and your expectation. Because, I mean, at the moment, we're going to settle for something which, historically speaking, is just not actually that left-wing at all.
I mean, I'm not one of those vulgar Marxists that says that, you know, you've got to have the red flag flying high and, you know, a picture of Lenin across your chest in order for a political project to be worthwhile. I think that if you, as a leftist, say, well, it's all or nothing, you've made your peace with nothing. And when you look at things like excess deaths under austerity, or when you look at reliance on food banks, when you look at the fact that half of young mums have to skip meals to feed their kids, I find the idea of nothing out of ideological purity.
Look at his fucking face. Look at him. Just watch that. Watch what the fuck's... Has he got a twitch or something? I mean, I'm sorry if that's the case, but...
I find the idea of nothing out of ideological purity.
It's like the rage is just bubbling up out of him, isn't it? Just the mention of food banks. Which, by the way, obviously that's on the Conservatives, but it's on Labour as well. It's on the pair of them. I mean, the Conservatives, they're a fucking joke as well, aren't they? But it's just... Here's the thing, though, in terms of the reliance on the state, in terms of this, oh, well, don't worry, we'll look after it, we'll provide it and all that. They'll do what they've done now. They just take it away whenever they feel like it. That's the issue. You give up your property, you give up your autonomy, and you don't know, the guy or girl in power right at that exact moment might be benevolent as fuck. I mean, for all his faults, Tony Blair did a lot of public spending. He sunk loads of money into stuff. Of course he did, and it was great and all the rest of it. But there's that reliance then, right? Well, we'll take more off you, and don't worry, we'll redistribute it properly. But then what? You're building a system. The person who you don't want to be in charge will always eventually get in charge. Always. Unless you become a dictatorship. And that's the natural progression of these people. Because they realise this. They know, well, what happens when the wrong type gets... What happens when Boris Johnson becomes the Prime Minister? Oh, we can't have that, can we? Because we need to take care of people. We're just going to have to... we'll just have to take over, won't we? Fucking authoritarians.
Completely unconscionable. So I think that if your communism leads you to a politics of despair or disengagement, you are failing the legacy of Marx, in my opinion.
Here's to being literally a communist.
Truly a communist.
You idiot.
That's your favourite bit?
It is, I love that bit. High five. Well done.
Do you high five? I spud.
Oh, let's do that. Okay. I don't think I'd get away with that. So now Ash's brainwash you.
Fuck you, Owen Jones. Fuck your stupid face. Is that it? That's your fluffy crap. 3 mentions of the horrors of it. 3 mentions of the truth of what happens. And I'm not saying that this is the problem, man. These pricks with this exact approach that they've got now, they're taking the fact that, like, we do want to look after each other. Of course we want social programmes. Of course we do. We want schools to be funded. We want old people to be looked after. We want disabled people to be looked after. But this fluff, this relentless push that they've got is like, well, the only way to do that... You saw them throw it in there with austerity. The only way to do that is with communism, with socialism. Because there's not a fucking difference, is there? Fuck you, Owen Jones.
All into becoming communists. Or has she? That's what I want to hear. What do you think about that? Are you convinced? Are you now going to call yourself a communist? What does communism actually mean? Can we actually get that stateless, classless society of material abundance freed from the tyranny of the state? Or are we just going to have to settle for some pretty watered down social democracy? I want to hear your thoughts.
You fucking arsehole. You fucking... Freed from the tyranny of the state when all you do is push for bigger government. All you do is push for bigger taxes, for more money. You fucking disingenuous... Oh, guys, if you want to support us, please get yourself on triggerwarning.tv. There's a store there. You can grab yourself a t-shirt, a cup or a mega hat, or you can just hit that there and become a Trigger Warning supporter. You can go for £1 or up, and you can even set it as a recurring. So if you do find value in what we do, if you do enjoy the conversations that we're having, although I do apologise, that was basically just me ranting for 55 minutes, wasn't it? But yeah, if you do enjoy it, then please do get involved. Also join the website. I'm sorry because I've been away. I've not been on it recently to check your messages. But we do have a social media. You can get on there. It's all at the top there. You can go on Trigger Warning Social. There's forums. There's the store, obviously. Join in. You can have conversations. We can post. It's a bit like Facebooky, Twittery kind of vibe. It's a social media, and it's all there. And you can get involved. Check these links out. There's lots of good stuff. Right, I'm going to check the chat before I move on. Richard said, can you and Richie do a live chat? Would be excellent. Yes, it is on the cards. We're going to do it. He's already promised. And, he will. I don't think he needs to promise. I think it'd be good, though, because, I don't want to sit there going, you're wrong, mate. You're stupid, blah, blah, blah. I don't think that would be healthy. But I think what I need to do with Richie and what my approach will be is I need him to define socialism, and then I need to define capitalism. So and then we both need to define the other one, so that we both, because that's not going to be the same. There's no way on earth that our definitions of both those things are going to be the same, which is hilarious because we both fact check for a living. We both do. So I don't know. I can't wait, though. I can't wait. We need to get that book soon. I'm hoping November, but we'll have to see. So he said, was here at 12 and now happening. Only just got here. What? How have you just joined? I went live at 12. Dude, hit the bell, subscribe, hit the bell, and then you'll just get a notification to say we're live. Even if you've not got it up, when you open up YouTube, top right, I don't know which way I'm supposed to point. There'll be a bell there. There'll be a bell there on the browser window. So when you open it and all the rest of it. But yeah, sorry about that, Sutty. I'm a scrub nurse. We now have robots doing surgery. Where does it stop? Healthcare is a huge one. Healthcare is a massive one. The one example is scans. Different shades of grey. There's artificial intelligence now that can read that at an accuracy level that no doctor ever could. So rather than waiting 3 weeks for whatever specialist to get around to it, the thing just pumps it out there, and then you just know, yeah, it's an issue. And here's the thing where Marx was right, in the sense that, he was wrong fundamentally, but his whole thing of like capitalism will give way to socialism, it will become socialism. There was, the guy was, no, I'm not getting into that too much. There's a truth to that, in the sense of like, look at the internet now. If I want to learn harmonica, I can just go on YouTube, and I can, in a day, in 24 hours, I can become an expert. Clock 24 hours over 2 weeks. I'm an expert. I know, because my brother did exactly that. 24 hours it took him. He carried on and he got phenomenal. Whereas, many years ago, you were either lucky enough to know someone that would teach you, or it was money. That the money's gone now. I don't need to go to university to learn something. I can watch university lectures for free. I can read everything for free. I don't need to pay money. So there's elements of cashlessness coming in. Elements of it. But they happen naturally. They're born. This is the thing about capitalism creating wealth and abundance. The same thing is happening to hospitals. But as far as I'm concerned, we have a lot of vacancies in hospitals right now. We have a very, very stressed healthcare system. So the worry, although it may be a worry on an individual level, it's a good thing that automations are coming into healthcare. The NHS, talking specifically about this country, the NHS is not a model that is fit for now. Not even close to fit for purpose. And that includes if you got Corbyn in and he doubled the budget, it still wouldn't be fit. Because people weren't living to 100 when he was there. People weren't surviving cancer when it was born. You know? Here's the thing. We've had so many leaps now that people are surviving. People just didn't live as long. Shit didn't matter. It's the same for the pension system. But here's the thing, man. If stuff can get automated, right now there's pensioners in care homes. It is severely understaffed. Severely understaffed. So we're talking about automation as if it's going to ruin everything. Is it fuck? It'll make things better. If you want to work in healthcare, you're phenomenal. You'll be able to do it. Right now, my girl's an engineer at the hospital. She works at the hospital. She mostly works on pumps and stuff. She constantly they have a backlog of like 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 items. Constantly. You imagine in a hospital that big as Manchester, things are being used, sent down. A lot of the times it gets used once, it has to go down to be checked, cleaned properly, and all the rest of it. Constant flow, constantly things coming in. Automation isn't a bad thing. But the NHS is not fit for purpose. People say they want to defend it and everything. It's not. So, fuck me, automation would be phenomenal. Phenomenal. On an organisational scale. On an individual level, yeah, you might lose your job. You might have trained for 7 years to become a specialist in one specific thing, and now an algorithm just does your job for you. That's shit. That's really, really shit. It is. But what can you do in terms of an individual? I mean, the truth is that, life's hard, shit happens. At least if you are trained in such a manner, you can move over. My girl used to do dialysis, she's renal. So that when they've privatised it now, as they have done with many, many things, they've just sent it off, which is hilarious because the company that does it pays about 10 grand more for the same job and gives you a car. What the fuck is going on? They can afford it, but the NHS can't, apparently. But she moved on. She had to take a step down in terms of her training and a program. She's not going to get a promotion as quickly as she might have hoped. But fuck me, man. Life comes at you, doesn't it? She's got a job there. She's a fucking engineer at a hospital. She's set for life. That's why when kids came along, she carried on because they were paying for her education. They still are doing. She's got 1 year left, and they're covering that. So I'd be an absolute fool to be like, well, I want to go and make movies still. I'd just be crying every night on set, Skyping my daughter. She looks so beautiful. No. No. Jay Rora said, learn something new. Yeah, exactly. There's this weird thing now, isn't there, where it's this sort of entitlement to education, whereas, I can take this off now, actually. Thank fuck for that. People don't learn anything at universities, and the vast majority of people that go to uni don't need to. I mean, I think overall, and this is just a random out of the air number, but we need to reduce university entrance to like 10% of what it is now, because it doesn't mean anything. People get degrees. I mean, like you said, if you want to be a doctor, then yeah, you're gonna have to go do that. But film studies, shit like that, no, waste of money. Phenomenal amounts of money. People are getting themselves in tens of thousands of pounds worth of debt to go and do film studies, whereas they could just take a loan out and go make a movie. It's just insane to me. They could fund a movie for that. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. And then, I went to film school, and then by the time I'd finished, all the gear we were using was out of date. It was all gone. It was like nobody used it anymore. It was like, oh, okay, cool. Suddenly everyone, all the shoots I was turning up on, everyone's got DSLRs, and I'm like, why has everyone got photography cameras? Why is everyone filming? I thought, what kind of monkey job is this? This is ridiculous. Everyone's just they use it. I didn't realise, obviously, that DSLRs just replaced all the gubbins. Well, you all know this. Well, you might not. You might not know this because of your age or whatever. I don't know. Jay Rora said, what do you call a doctor who graduates at the bottom of his class? Doctor. there is a high minimum competency, MRC. However, who set the standard? Oh, don't get me started on doctors, man. I've got huge issues with them. Although I've got too many issues with him, personal reasons. I just don't. I haven't trusted him since I was a kid. Because yeah, some of them aren't competent. I've been victim of it myself. But I do need to go. I need to register. I'm getting old. I need to check up. I need to go see what's wrong with me, don't I? Right. Oh my God, it's been an hour. I've had my hour. Do you want me to stop? Shall I carry on? What's going on, guys? What you feeling? What you thinking? I'm not sure. I got a couple of stories I want to do. I'll check that out later. I'm not doing it right now. Thank you for your tweets, though. You're absolutely amazing, as always. Go on, let's do a couple more stories, shall we? Couple, quickly, fast, before she gets home. My daughter's got into the thing now on a Sunday where she knows that she can go to McDonald's. So she knows it's like when Daddy's setting up to work, there's this thing of like, Sunday, isn't it? Sunday. Park, McDonald's. That's if Mum's back's all right. Her back wasn't so good last week, so that's why I didn't broadcast last week. Even though I was kind of all right, the environment wasn't good for it. Right. I've been adoring 2020 so far. I went into it on Thursday. The whole thing about Trump's tweets, his racist tweets. It was a troll. It was bait. Everyone fell for it, including Jeremy Corbyn, including Theresa May. They're all go, oh, you can't do this, you can't do this. Nobody is talking about the fact that he's just changed the asylum system in America so that anyone who has passed through a country before they got to the American border is denied straight away. Apart from maybe one or two, I can't remember, there's a deal there, but generally, so all these people who are flying from Africa, because the chaos at the border, you hear about kids in cages. They're not cages, they're fences. But what they don't realise about the chaos at the border right now, what never gets reported on, is the fact that there's a phenomenal number of people. In May, 11,000 unaccompanied minors. 11,000! What do you do with them? And there's this big thing at the moment, because it's a political thing, because the Democrats can smell victory there, they're pushing it relentlessly. So people are literally flying from Africa to hit that border. He's just changed the asylum rules so that if because technically with asylum, say there's war or you're escaping some gang warfare or whatever, you should hit the next peaceful country, the next safe country. That's why you claim for it. There's been a bit of a loophole in America at the moment where people are running over the border. If they get caught, they then go asylum, and there's a thing there where they had to recognise it. Whereas they're getting rid of that now, and they're like, well, if you legitimately want asylum, present at an official border crossing, So they're trying to get rid of that, but they couldn't get rid of that, so obviously we need the wall, or they need the wall. That's not happening. So they all end up in these fucking camps. And then Cortez, Crazy Eyes, and Ilan block money for it that would help, block humanitarian aid that would help these people. Because that's the problem at the moment. There's so many of them. There's just a phenomenal number of them coming through. Hundreds of thousands, relentlessly. You've got to do something whilst you process them. They've got to go somewhere. And one of the exploits was if you had a child with you, they'd let you go free and then you had to come back to the hearing. But genetic testing has found that 1/3 of the kids that are in the actual centres, 1/3 are not related to the people claiming to be the parents. 1/3. It's this unintentional, they brought in a good rule, because the issue back when was the fact that kids and parents were together. That was the problem. They were like, it's inhumane, you can't put kids in prison like that. So they said, okay, well, we'll let them go free. And now we've got a problem where, because they brought that rule in to try and help the situation, it created a reward for human trafficking. You get the kid in, they wave you on because you've got a child there. You're encouraging people to kidnap kids, which is what's happening. 1/3 are not related. Phenomenal. And you don't know with the rest of them, never mind the rape statistics. It's a horrible, horrible situation down there. And in order for Trump to bring in this new rule that says if you've crossed from another country, so essentially if you crossed into Mexico and you didn't claim asylum there, then we're not having you, because that's the rule. You're looking for asylum. You should have gone there. Nobody's talking about this. Nobody's writing about it. Thursday, Hayden didn't even know about it. And I'm not slighting Hayden. There's a lot going on. The whole point is that people don't realise that he's done this huge change. This is bigger than the Muslim country ban, the flight ban. Do you remember the protests for the flight ban? They were huge. And it's because of these racist tweets. They weren't racist. They were very carefully designed in such a way so that you could, if that was your inclination, read them as racist. And then go off on one, and then everyone's talking about it, everyone's standing with Omar, and they're ignoring the fact that this huge law has just come in, this huge law. And now Donald Trump's not stopping. He's mocking Sadiq Khan after the Metropolitan Police Twitter got hacked. The Twitter didn't actually get hacked. The police's website got hacked. And I know it's the Daily Mail, blah, 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 blah. But the Daily Mail will shamelessly screen cap, so that's why I've gone on this. With the incompetent mayor of London, you will never have safe streets. Do you know what? He's not wrong. Katie Hopkins as well. I know she's hated and everything. Officers say if they have lost control of London streets, which they have, apparently they've lost control of the Twitter account too. Now, I brought this up. This is so good. No comment. Get my lawyer. No comment. F the police. Retweet free Digger D. Hashtag chuckling hella. This is great. So they've obviously been fished. Which is a thing of, like, you know what, a lot of you send me PMs at the moment that are trying to fish me, so thanks for that. What you gonna do? Phone the police? Yeah, they got hacked, and what it was is, they've all got links to news.met.police.uk, so what they were doing was, they hacked the thing, which was probably WordPress, quite easy to hack, if you know what you're doing. They were posting articles, which then, and I know, you can then get them to auto-tweet, which is just brilliant. Keo and Xeon battered Eeyore. That's so good. It's just kids, innit? God, I hope they don't catch him. I really hope they don't catch him. Roy Smith there. We are aware that the Met Police has been subject to unauthorised access. Our media team are working. Oh, I love it. I love it. It made me happy, that. It's a nice, you know, because it's kids being kids, innit, eh? I'm not worried about it. I know this is a big thing. But it's the fact that Trump got involved that's amazing. That's what makes, that's the thing for me of, like, isn't it weird that we live in a world where, you know, I remember once as a very young kid throwing mud at a window. I threw a muddy, me and my brother did it, and we ran away like, and it's like, this is the equivalent of that, isn't it? It was a pub. So it was disturbing, you know, people were playing pool. The idea was they'd go, whoa, like that, and miss the shot. And it was the funniest thing in the world to me. We did it for way too long, and I feel bad now I think about it, because, I do feel bad. But it was a stupid thing that kids do. They do stupid pranks, knock a door, run away. That now, in, 2019, that the equivalent to that is hacking into the police website and going, Messiah and oik on your forehead. Xeon is harmless and a beg. That's the equivalent. And now, like, instead of it just being a thing that's forgotten, and, I feel bad now I think about the pub. I remember him outside, like, cleaning the window with a stick and all, with the squidgy thing. God, I feel awful. What a wet bugger. It doesn't matter now. Nobody cares. But yeah, this is the thing now where Donald Trump's the president of the United States is focusing attention on your prank, on your troll. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Carla said Trump is right about... Yeah, it's the same all over, man. I mean, I'm waiting. I can't believe we've not had riots. I can't believe we've not had mass things. There aren't enough police. You call the police now, and there's a fair chance they won't arrive. It's happened to me. It's happened to my neighbours. You just call them and you tell them about things, and nobody comes. I remember seeing kids going around, like a gang going around trying the windows of all around all the area here. I could see him trying to break in, and I'm not going out to a gang of kids like that. No. And obviously, we're not allowed to really defend ourselves. So weapons, threatening, all that's out of the question, because it'd fall on me in terms of responsibility. So I phoned the police. Obviously, nobody came. Nobody. My mate bike got robbed that night. Still nobody visited. to do a report, to check for print, nothing. It's not just London, it's all over the country. And there's a lot of bad people who don't, I don't know if they've not realised it. Well, some of them have in certain areas. They know the police aren't coming in. They know they can do whatever the fuck they want. Sadiq can't. Right, I'm going to move on anyway, because I don't want to get there. A poll here. A poll! This is the Daily Caller. So take that as you will in terms of its obviously got a right-wing leaning. They enjoyed putting up this article. That's probably the best way to put it. But it's interesting, and I want to go into it for a very good reason. So a third of Democrats... And this is echoed in the UK, this attitude. I know it is. I've seen it. I don't have the numbers, but I've seen it. A third of Democrats believe it's racist to criticise politicians of colour. This is so weird, isn't it? You could just see coloured politicians. There's no difference, really. It's weird, isn't it? It's weird how these things with the left, it just ends up the same. Just rebranded. A new poll suggests that nearly 1/3 of Democrats believe white politicians who criticise politicians of colour are racist. Well, that's it. That's all you need to know. Rasmussen, which, is a little bit did a survey with 1,000 registered voters. 1,000 isn't enough. But, we're talking about it anyway. But they are registered voters. Between July 15 and 16, a survey found that 32% of Democrats agree that it's racist for any white politician to criticise the political views of a politician of colour. Jesus Christ! I mean, say this poll isn't great. Say it's 10% of registered Democrats. Whatever. That's still phenomenally terrifying. That is a deeply racist, white supremacist point of view being demonstrated by a growing number of people on the left. This is really, really worrying to me here. If you can't criticise someone because of the colour of their skin, if you can't criticise their politics and their ideas because of their skin colour, then that is saying that person is less capable of criticism. He's less capable. Like, if you're, I've just been moaning about socialism, right? So I've got bones to pick with Richie about that. Not bones. I want to have an honest conversation with him about it. He's a white male who came out on Friday. So, up until Friday, he was straight white male. So it's okay that I criticise his ideas, is it? Is that okay? But what if a black woman is saying exactly the same thing, word for word, and I criticise it? That makes me racist. The only way I could be racist is if white people are inherently better, more capable of taking criticism, more able to criticise. This is white supremacy, and it's creeping back up into the left in a terrifying manner. I see it all the time. Allied to minorities. I mean, I got loads of friends. I got a good mate from Iraq. And I'm not going to go into I'm not racist because I'm black and all that bollocks. But I've got friends who are minorities, but I'm not an ally to any of them because I don't see them as pathetic, weak victims. I don't see them as less and needing an ally. As a homogenous group. Fuck that shit. It's white supremacy, and it is terrifying. Genuinely terrifying. Like I said, there's only 1,000, so this 32%, but this is scary, man. But these people say it though. They do it themselves. If you criticise them, they call you racist. That's how all this started. Nancy Pelosi was criticising him and they called her racist. They did it via the AIDS or whatever, but that's insane. That's giving you special rules. This is oh, and here we go. The fucking left are going, well, what's the death count? And it's like the death count on an individual level is not the concern with the left. That's not the problem. The left works collectively, systematically. And if you're creating a system where you're not allowed to talk back to someone who's in power, these are senators, Congress people. What's the thing? I'm not very good with the American system, but they are elected representatives. Yeah. So if I can't speak truth to power, then what the fuck, man? That's again, that is white supremacy, and it is authoritarian nonsense, and you people should be terrified of this, and you need to speak up on this shit, man. It's one of the few things that I sort of really get at people when I see tweets about this, man. It's like, you're being racist. The only way for this to be a bad thing is if you are racist by default. Oh my God. There we go. That's kind of the end. I don't know if I want to do this Greta thing. It just makes me so sad, this Guardian article, because she's being used. She's being used by this environmentalists that are not real environmentalists. They want power. They want to sidestep the government, and they want power. And they're roping in poor kids like this to do it. And these idiot celebrities. Questions from famous fans. You know, oh God, Jeremy Corbyn, you fucking scumbag. Jamil, oh God, she is an idiot. She's one of these that they should have never, ever, ever have given a microphone to. You know, she's good at playing posh whatever in that show, but she's an idiot. She's an absolute idiot, and it just makes me sad. David fucking Lammy, here we go. I am really interested by this. This is one that gets me. Stephen Lee, I adore Stephen Lee. Stuart Lee, sorry, not Stephen Lee. I do. I find his comedy phenomenal. He's one of my favourites. So I'm going to read this one, actually, because I want to know. Because this is interesting, because this challenges me, because I can't... it's not that I can't stand her. I can't stand what's being done to her. You know, she's the face of climate action at the moment. You are my new hero, and you have really helped me to explain what is going on to my children. How do you keep so calm when people... It's because doesn't she have a developmental issue? When people use personal attacks to try and undermine your work. Okay. I had expected that. If you don't fully understand the ongoing climate breakdown, then what I and the other people and the other school strikers, because that's what she's famous for, obviously, do must seem very strange. And since most people are not aware, this is unfortunately what I... But they are, though! Jesus Christ! There's the straw man. There's the straw man. People don't know what's going on with the environment. They fucking do. Everyone does. Everyone does. The BBC has had an environmental correspondent for decades. Decades. A news correspondent dedicated to the environment. I know, because I know him personally. I know the one from the 90s. Personally, he's a phenomenal fella. I genuinely have love for him. Like, you know, in a family sort of sense. Genuine love for him. I think he's a wonderful guy. We've known about it for decades. Because I've watched his tapes, and I've watched the news now just reusing his stuff. Reusing his stories, reusing his things. We all know. They create this false argument of, like, raising awareness. It's like, fuck you, man. Fuck you. Climate diversity has halted. The fall has halted in Europe. From the 70s it went right down. But it's levelled off the last 10 years. How's it done that? Because we know. Because we know. This false fucking argument about suddenly just like everyone's just sat there just throwing plastic onto an open fire and laughing about it as they griddle the hot dogs. It's bullshit. Fucking ridiculous, man. Like, what is it now? Wind power. 7% of the planet is electricity is created by wind power because we know. Because we fucking know. But they screw these little girls up there. I'd love to talk to him about this. I do. There's a guy I know that I see on Tuesdays who's way more in with these people, and we don't argue. I love talking to him about it because he gives me the perspective. he's saying about, well, you know, I'm not going to go into that, but yeah, he says that companies need to be forced, and I don't agree with that. I think that companies love to virtue signal, and I think that, you know, the less taxes the better. So you need to incentivize it. Say, if you do this, then you will be taxed less. It's the only fucking way. Anything else, and they're just going to hide behind it. Look at this carbon credit bullshit that the EU brought in. Carbon credits. It just got rinsed. The whole system got rinsed. And it's just another layer of corruption. That's what I was trying to get in with Aidan the other day. The second that it's connected to government, and he sees it with the EU, but for some reason doesn't see it on a local level, on a UK level. It's dead frustrating. Well, if you watched our podcast, it was a couple of podcasts ago, you'll see we argued for about an hour over it. Because to me, the second there's a connection there, it's corruption there. So what you need to do, tax breaks for going green. That's it. Tax breaks, and the best part of that is that then you're separating them. You're moving them away from one another, and they get to virtue signal. They get to do these stupid adverts where they go on about they're constant. Fucking it annoys me. It annoys me, guys. If you're not following, please hit subscribe. Sooty, especially hit that bell, mate. Ring that little bell just below the video there, but everyone please do it. Share the clips, share the video, please. They've killed it. They've killed not just us, but in terms of traffic. Like, if you are subscribed, you still find out we're on, but we don't get shown to new people anymore. We used to come up. So if I was talking about Extinction Rebellion, I'd be linked, or we'd be linked, sorry, me and Aidan, would be linked under other Extinction Rebellion videos. You know, the way it works where you subscribed. Doesn't work that way anymore. It's just gone. They just show you, like, whatever viral, you know. I mean, good for that guy with the pitch meetings. Pitch meetings are great. They'll show you that now, or they'll show you stuff from trending, but they don't tend to show you us anymore. And we've seen it. And everyone's seen it. There was a bit where we'd be suggested, so our videos could go viral and did go viral because if it was on a certain subject, we'd be suggested, then someone would watch it. If they watched it for a long time, rather than, you know, if they just clicked off it after 5 seconds, then that's telling YouTube, like, no, this one's shit. But if they watched it for a long time and hit like and comment, which is very important, then it would then get shown to even more people and go viral. Doesn't not happen now. They've kicked it off. They'd rather you watch Jimmy Kimmel, and they'd rather you watch that Colbert moaning about Trump. And you know, because it's safe, not because the content is less gross, because it's not. It's very offensive. All those late night hosts say horrific things all the time, but they get away with it because the activists aren't after them. So they're trying to destroy it. So please drop me a share. Please drop me a like. Drop me a comment. And I will try and catch up with your messages in the week. Guys, we'll see you Tuesday, 10:30 UK time. Just a reminder as well that Thursday, the studio probably won't be up and running because we are moving. But it's all good news. I can't talk about it too much. But thanks to all our Patreons. Thanks for everyone that's dropped us money, dropped us PayPals. There's links to everything in the description if anyone could. But because you've all been so amazing, because we've got that constant, regular Patreon support, because we've got all the people that have been signing up and sending us stuff, we're moving to a set that is going to be much more able to host you, to host an audience. We're going to have a separate room. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. Very much an upgrade, and it's setting the stage for several upgrades as well, including a physical set that we can actually move around and play around in, which I'm very, very excited about, and that is because of you. Joe Public's saying I could find it on BitChute, if not YouTube. Find what? Oh yeah, you can. Oh, Soph. Sorry, yeah, I missed it. Yeah, so for anyone that doesn't know Soph, obviously my missus is called Soph. But no, Soph is a channel, phenomenal channel. She's like 14 or something. She's got about, last time I checked, she's on about $2,000 a month on a Patreon, and for good reason. She's hilarious. And Vox and BuzzFeed and all that tried to take her down, but yeah, she gives me tingles, man, and not like that, but just because she's a phenomenal speaker. She is presenting an argument on one side of things, but oh my god, she's amazing. Check out Soph. Definitely do it on BitChute, which we're on, by the way. All our videos automatically go on BitChute, so you can watch there if you'd rather. And the original doc, yes, mate, you joined right at the end. Sorry about that. We talked about Owen Jones for an hour, so you got that to look forward to. Guys, I gotta go. I got things to do. I got things to do. Dun, 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 dun. I love you though. I'll see you Tuesday. But yeah, in terms of the set, thank you for your support. But we might not be there on Thursday, so it might be a remote one. It might. I mean, I need to talk to Hayden about it because I think we should do something cheeky. Like maybe we could go to town and stream, or I don't know. I'm gonna talk to Hayden because I don't see the point in doing a Tuesday and a Thursday and it being the same thing. If you've got any ideas for what you'd like to do, tweet at Hayden Hewitt, at Graham Booth. Drop us a tweet. Let us know what you'd like to see on Thursday. There's a 24-hour Greg's, which would be quite fun. We'll see, though, because it's hard. Family time, and you know he's got a phenomenal amount of shit going on at the moment, which we're not even legally allowed to talk about yet. But anyway, I'll see you soon, guys. I love you.